No, no, no. None of it's enough. We will never satisfy the positive one. I'll be classified null and void. You guys are doing something wrong.
That just sounds like coke to me.
Hey, get over here.
Wow.
Oh, my ass and ovaries.
Bob, listen up, man. I've got a plan.
I'm listening.
Hey all, Null here. So this is likely one of the biggest SMG4 controversies so far. SMG4 has permanently redesigned SMG4 and 3, as well as Bob and Boopkins, which I had not expected at all. But in hindsight, their redesigns make sense too, as if they were going to redesign SMG4 and 3 due to their models being recolours of a Nintendo character, then why not also redesign to characters who literally just use the models of Nintendo characters with no alterations. However, I do agree with cibles that Bob and Boopkins, as well as SMG3, should have played a bigger role in this art to better justify the redesigns within the story a bit. Though I'm honestly fine with how it was done. I thought it was quite funny why Miyamoto wanted to redesign them. I can definitely understand why some people are upset over the redesigns. All of these characters have had these incredibly iconic designs for years after all, and Bob pretty much completely overshadows Garos at this point, with more people recognizing this model as Bob rather than a garo, I imagine all. And while disliking the designs is completely fine, it is a subjective thing after all. I would like to just say that some people have had some interesting takes. I do think this will sort of be a new era for the SMG4 channel in a small way, but anyone declaring this is the death of the SMG4 channel or that he did this to spite people who liked the Mario recolours I just cannot take seriously. Well, I would agree that since Revelations, although there have been many episodes I actually really like, I think there have been more weaker episodes than usual, and the lawsuit arc was much weaker story-wise than Genesis or Revelations. So I'm hoping the overall quality of the SMG4 series picks up from now.
Also, please keep in mind that by giving these characters original models, it gives SMG4 a lot more freedom with how they use these characters. And even though SMG4 likely would win in a real-life case against Nintendo in an Australian court due to Australia's amazing fair use laws, I imagine having to deal with the whole legal proceedings would be really costly and damaging to Glitch, so they have a very legitimate reason to want to make redesigns so that if they have to remove all Nintendo stuff, they have their own models right there to immediately pick up where they left off, and without the change being too jarring as people would already be used to the new models. This is just to address anyone asking why they would be afraid of Nintendo even though they should be safe against them. Though as Nintendo isn't likely to threaten them anytime soon, did they really have to rush the lawsuit arc, bruh?
Okay, so on to why you're watching this video. What do I think about the new models? Well, I've still not solidly took a stance yet on most of them, mainly, as we haven't seen them in videos for long enough and I'm waiting for the models to be released publicly to use them myself. However, at the moment I think I like all of them, yes, even this goblin looking ass character, but I'll get onto him later. Bob has the best model, which I think most people agree with, and this is likely due to him still being very similar to his original design. If you glanced only once at the old banner and then the new banner, you probably couldn't tell the difference between the designs. I really like how they made that design down the center of his robe into a bandana. He looks really cool. I also think making his cloak look more rugged and less fancy makes a lot of sense, as he is a street rapper who lives at a garbage dump. Lol. I'm just hoping that they kept Bob's face where it goes small like this. SMG4 and 3 have more mixed reactions in the community, with some people preferring SMG3 for whatever reason, but personally I like their designs. I especially love how SMG3 has a beard like his voice actor James, since, as James is so connected with the character, it made sense to model SMG3 after him like with Luke and SMG4. Also, this is a minor thing, but I like how SMG3 also has a darker shade of blue for his overalls. Personally, I like the variation between Mario and SMG4, even though the original 2 Mario duo is really iconic, representing the earlier and simpler times of SMG4, though I think that is still represented on the channel by the use of SM64, which thankfully the new SMG4 model keeps, and I assume we'll eventually see an SMG3 SM64 model too as well.
Okay, so on to this little bitch. The reason why so many people hate this design, and why I was put off with it at first, is likely because his proportions have changed the most dramatically out of all the characters. He has much bigger hands and he looks like a bean. He also does look like he could be from a kid's animated show now, though this could possibly be the point considering what his character is like. But after seeing this model quite a lot, I think I've gotten used to it. And I don't think it's a bad design, I just think it may be a bit too different unlike the other new models. I have begun to quite like the go-offness to this design though, so they definitely shouldn't change it immediately as some people are suggesting, as I really do think over time your thoughts on it will change. By the way, they kept this thing you can do with his body, which I appreciate, and I think if he was in Sunset Paradise he would have fit very well in that show where many of the characters are shapes with legs and hands.
But do I think the original models were better? Well, personally I'm not sure. As I said earlier, I still haven't finalized my opinion on the models yet, though maybe I have with Bob, as I really love his redesign. The old models are just so iconic that it's very hard to say the new models are better. What do you all think? I think graphically, except for Bob, the new models are probably not as good, but I can cut them some slack there as the old models are ported from Nintendo games and have been worked on for a lot longer than the SMG4 team would be able to work on these models. Oh, and one last thing, I don't think we'll be getting any more redesigns anytime soon. If there is any more. The only characters I think this will happen to is Swag and Chris, as their models are also not original, as well as Shroomy as his model is really old, and there could be improvements to it I think, though his current model does not have as many flaws as say Aiko's old model for example did in my opinion. Thanks for watching, make sure to like and subscribe, and hopefully part 18 of the Veritas arc will release within the next week or so. Now Bob. Good now Bob.
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No, 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 no.